Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, two-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have a special guest by the name of Coach T. Wilson. A little bit about her. Coach T is a best-selling author, entrepreneur, and award-winning leadership maven, helping movers and shakers shift to the next level. She is the owner and chief leadership coach of Trendy Elite Coaching and Consulting Services, which she founded in 2017. Trendy Elite focuses on transformational change by equipping leaders with the tools and expertise needed to be successful influencers who inspire personal growth and leadership in the workplace and in their local communities. Trendy Elite offers a variety of training programs, personality assessments, and coaching programs. In addition to the leadership training programs with Trendy Elite, Coach T hosts a weekly international radio program called Leadership Tidbits with Coach T. Wilson on Direct Impact Broadcasting radio station, in which she co-owns with her husband. Coach T started her leadership journey in the clinical laboratory as a medical laboratory scientist, providing complex testing to aid clinicians in accurate diagnosis and patient care. Over the past 15 years, she served in a variety of progressive leadership roles, with her most recent being the System Technical Director of Chemistry for one of the top regional labs in Daytona, Ohio community. In this role, she provides clinical expertise, strategy, and collaboration to 7 hospital locations and a core reference laboratory. In 2018, Coach T co-authored her first best-selling publication, Dear Fear Volume 2, 18 Powerful Lessons on Living Your Best Life on the Other Side of Fear. This book challenges readers to push through fear and begin living the life they deserve. It gives them the strategies and tools they need to answer their questions of self-doubt and create a plan of action to move beyond their fear and into their greatness. Coach T holds a bachelor's degree in clinical laboratory sciences from Kentucky State University and an MBA from Indiana Wesleyan University. She has received several awards, including 2019 Ambition Magazine List, 2018 Working Women Award, 2017 American Society for Clinical Pathology's 40 Under 40 Award, 2015 UC Health Martin Luther King Jr. Award, 2012 Girl Scouts of Western Ohio Leaders of Promise Award, in 2011 Cincinnati Business Courier 40 Under 40 Award, in 2010 YWCA Rising Star Award. Coach T is actively involved in the Dayton Public Schools Foundation Board, Urban League of Greater Southwestern Ohio, John Maxwell Team Executive Director, American Society for Clinical Pathology, Dayton Biz Women Insiders Club, and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Coach T enjoys traveling and creating new memories with her husband. Coach T is now spending time with family and friends. She enjoys reading and exercising. Welcome to the table, Coach T. Wilson.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for sharing your platform with me, and I am just honored and blessed to be here today. I felt like I didn't know who you were talking about in that bio, so thank you for reading all of that. You know, if people know where I started and to hear all of that, that's a journey all within itself. So just thank you for having me here tonight.
You are welcome. I am just, happy and excited to interview you. You know, you're one of my business partners as well, and soror, so this should be fun. So tell me about your entrepreneur journey.
Well, the entrepreneur bug has always been in my blood, even when I wanted no parts. I couldn't understand it. I just knew that I was going to school and I was going to be a corporate professional. But when my dad was alive, he worked full-time job, and then he also had several businesses, including a car wash, rental property, food truck, and this was even before they were even popular. So I started my professional career as a medical laboratory scientist as you stated. And most people don't know what that is. So we are those detectives that work behind the scenes. We help your clinicians accurately diagnose what you have, your disease stage, what's going on in your body. 70% of medical decisions are based off lab results. So you may not see who we are, but we definitely have an impact on your life. So after being in the field, within 5 years, moved to progressive leadership roles, and I was afforded a lot of leadership opportunities that I know other people don't get. And so I've got leadership opportunities, mentorships. And so after realizing that everybody is not getting those opportunities and seeing staff move into positions that they were not prepared to handle or prepared to deal with because they didn't have the training to do so, I went ahead and honed my craft, and I decided to open my leadership training and coaching business. And so I became certified in what I was doing. I really invested into that because I was good. I'm good at leading people, mentoring people. I know that's my why. I know that's my purpose. And so in 2017, I launched Trendy Elite and began officially doing business in 2018. I began speaking, coaching, training, and gaining exposure, which opened the doors to other business endeavors that complemented one another. So I became a best-selling author last year that added to my business portfolio. This year, started the radio station and have my international radio show, leadership show. So that's added to my business portfolio. So, it's really been a blessing, and just like my dad, who had all of these businesses and working and all of that, I just wish he was here today to see it all. I wish he was here so I can tell him that I finally get it. I finally get what he meant by making your own money and embarking on the entrepreneur journey.
Amazing. I'm loving your journey. And I see that you're still doing both, right? Corporate America and entrepreneurship. So, we all know that's a hustle, so I commend you. So you are the owner-in-chief leadership of Trendy Elite Coaching and Consulting Services. So please tell us more about your coaching services and how they can purchase them.
Yes. So my company focuses on strengthening the next generation of leaders. Within most organizations, your real influencers are the middle management or your frontline team. It's not always the executives. What we know is that if that middle layer of staff, that middle management isn't on board with the decisions that are being made, that layer can tear down or build up an organization. So that's the group that I tend to focus on. Your executives receive coaching and training and other incentives that they may or may not need or want, but usually your middle management or frontline staff does not. And so I focus on that group because I feel like if you focus on that group will build an organization and make it stronger. So I specialize in short and long-term leadership training programs, which could be on-site or virtual, accountability partnerships. Sometimes we just need people to help us stay accountable to our goals. One-on-one coaching, workshops in the area of personal growth, leadership, and communication, all for individuals, teams. This could be schools or youth groups and companies. So you can find more information and purchase these services by going on my website, CoachTWilson.com. And on there, you'll find a link to schedule an appointment with me, a discovery call. You can book any of my assessments. And it also has a link for my business page, TrendyEliteLLC.com, where you can get more in-depth information about our areas of expertise, the topics that we present on and teach on, about our assessments. We do DISC, we do sales, we do communication. So there's a lot of things that's on the website that we're able to offer from individual to corporation.
Amazing. So definitely please go support Coach T and support her services. She's amazing. She's an amazing coach. So tonight we're going to focus on more so leadership, okay? So why is having good mentors and coaches important in order to get to your destiny, Coach T? Why is that so important?
That is a great question. Great question. So mentors and coaches are critical and necessary. However, they serve two different purposes, right? So both are important, both are critical. So coaches look at this relationship more as a partnership. So coaches guide you to reach an agreed upon goal, typically over a certain amount of time. Again, more like a partnership. They help us change our behaviors without interjecting personal experience. You know, they shouldn't be telling you, well, this is what I did, you should try this. They really should be helping you find a solution from within. You know, so I have business coaches. I have people in areas in which I'm not strong who have that expertise that can help me on that particular journey. Mentors share wisdom and experience with us so we can learn through successful and unsuccessful models. They help us accelerate our learning curves, but because essentially you learn faster from people that you trust, you respect, you admire. So it helps us with our learning curves. Great mentors, however, will use their influence to provide access and opportunity and become champions for us. So I don't strive to just be a mentor or a coach. If I'm going to have a mentoring relationship, I want to be a great mentor because that person is going to provide access and opportunity and be a champion for those. So I don't have a lot of mentees because I invest so much in them. And one thing, you know, that I want people to know that mentorship has its privileges, right? And so mentoring can be paid or unpaid. So typically when we think about a mentor, we always think about an unpaid relationship. And this is not always true. Mentoring has changed over the time, and you can pay for somebody to mentor you. So just trying to get people to understand and change their mindset that the mentoring relationship, don't be surprised if you ask somebody to mentor you and it comes with an invoice. So I think both are critical and crucial to your leadership journey and really your professional journey.
Yes, they are. And it's so important. I asked that question because it's so important that we do our research when we're seeking out for coaches and mentors, right? You want to make sure that you have coaches that are where you want to be. They've been where you want to be. And mentors that really have that, like you said, that wisdom and have that, you know, they really want to help you. And then they're okay when you pass them, right? That's what mentors are, coaches. So it's just important that we do our research. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I have mentors who have been champions for me. I mean, opened the doors and created a seat at a table that I didn't even know, that I belonged at. And so it wasn't about a competition. They weren't about me being better than them. Sometimes, as they say, the master, you should be confident and okay when the student becomes better than the master because it's a reflection on you, a positive one. So when I look at people that I have mentor or coach and to see them excel, to see them move into leadership position, to see them really be, awesome and amazing, I don't care if anybody get more awards than me. I don't care if anybody, reach positions that I've not reached. If I had an impact on their journey and they're able to see that for themselves and achieve that for themselves, then as a mentor, as a coach, I've done a great job. And at the end of the day, that's successful to me.
Absolutely. Reaching back and pulling forward is always a true success. So let's talk about leadership and, some of the different things that we're looking for in good leaders. So what is the most lacking traits among leaders today?
Well, I will give you three. There's a few things, but I'll give you the top three that come to mind. Lack of visionary skills. So sometimes what happens is people are good technically. They're good in their craft, right? So in the laboratory, we have people who are very good with the science, very good with the data, very good being scientists. But once they transition to leadership roles, it's very difficult to take on that visionary standpoint. And it's hard to see the big picture when you're busy being focused and in the weeds. It's hard to chart a course. So what happens is this leads to micromanagement. And so, I think of it as a cruise ship, for example. You have your captain. The captain is up top on the cruise. They're looking and charting the waters. They're charting the course, right? They don't know every single thing that goes on the cruise. That's why you have your cruise director. Your cruise director is that person that knows what's going on. So if you think about it from a business standpoint, your CEO is typically your captain. They're the vision for the company. They're seeing what trends is happening. They're seeing what's going on. Your COO may be that person that knows all the ins and outs for the company. If the CEO is down in the weeds, you would never know what may be happening. And so, lack of visionary skills would be one. Not a clear sense of purpose. If you don't know your why, you can't figure out your how. And so this results in poor decision-making and poor planning and ultimately poor execution. And then I would also say lack of core values. Leadership is tough. I mean, it is not a game out here being a leader. You definitely got to have thick skin. You got to have tough skin. And so you need to know where you stand long before you must make a decision that may compromise your values. So, when tension get high, you get stressed out. That's not the time to figure out which side of the line you want to be on. And if you do this, know where you stand, know where your core is, know what your purpose is, have a vision. I think those are all things that I've seen has been lacking in leaders who've been in positions of power.
Absolutely. Because a good leader is a good servant first, right? And they should always be helping their people get to the next level, right? So I'm a big believer in that, reaching back and pulling forward. So I definitely agree with those three things. Visionary skills, not knowing your why for all the listeners, and core values. Okay, love that. So what are some of the most important traits that successful leaders have that you think, Coach T?
And you hit it. Servant leadership, you got to have a heart to serve. It's important to lift as you climb and inspire others to achieve more than even they thought was possible. When you look at life from this angle, the tough decisions become easier. So, become a servant leader. Effective communication. One of the biggest challenges today is communication mismatches. I thought you meant this. In your text, I read this. On social media, I saw this. The email you sent seemed like you were saying this. There's no substitute for verbal communication. And what I find is that since technology is a double-edged sword. And so I find that the more we use technology, the less we're relying on our verbal skills, and the more it's creating issues and tension in the workplace and really just in life. So effective communication, verbal communication never goes out of style. Listening skills, listen more, talk less. If you listen, people will tell you everything you need to know. You just got to listen. Stop talking so much. Listen. And determination. I mean, life is hard. So if at first you don't succeed, keep trying. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing, especially as I work with my young people, is that they're quick to give up. Something didn't work out. They experienced a failure. And so it's like, man, I can't do this. Now I'm ready to give up. You got to keep pushing. You got to have that determination. If I say one quality about myself, it's going to be determination every single time.
And learning to embrace the process, because that's part of the process, right? In order for you to get to the next level, to get to the end result, you got to go through a process. A lot of us like to see the accolades, but we don't want to experience the process, right? But that's the most important part of the journey, is going through the process, and we have to all endure it. We have to embrace that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So let's talk about collaboration because, I'm a big believer in collaboration, but I think if more of us embrace that, a lot of us will get to our destiny and get to the next level as a collective understanding that we all can win and that there's room for all of us. So, Coach T, what is your definition on collaboration and why is that so important?
Well, first, I absolutely love collaborating. It's necessary and it's important. So, when you have two or more people getting together for a shared purpose, amazing things happen, right? And so, with collaboration, there's no competition, because we all have the goal of winning, right?
Yes.
And so, because of collaborations, I have excelled more in my business endeavors and got into avenues I didn't even think was possible, right? People leverage what they could bring to the table. I brought what I could bring to the table, and we have done some outstanding, amazing things. So, for example, last year I collaborated on a Dear Fear 2 project, which is where we met. And I know, right. So that project absolutely changed my life. And it wasn't that, just the project. It was the people. It was the women. It was everybody that was involved and touched that project at that time. We were aligned for a purpose. And so, and what's so crazy is I had never met any of you before, never met you all, didn't know you all. But what came out of it is changing the world, changing women, changing girls. And so, that project was a springboard to other endeavors, right? So, a lot of people that was in the project wasn't in my particular area where I live at. And so now I got exposed to your audience, other people's audience, and it just kept building and building, and it created additional platforms. So I always say, together we are better. So when somebody say, thank you for this opportunity, no, together we are truly better. And I mean that. I mean, you don't know who has the key to open up your next door, right? So that person is not always in your circle. You may not know who has that key. You may not even met them yet. So, but if you try to do everything, yourself, you will never reap the benefits of powerful collaboration. And so I think it's important. So when people say, well, I can't work with women and I can't work with this group and I can't work with that group, you need to look at you. It's something going on with you, whether it's a trust issue, whether you got burned before, but don't let that dictate your future, that one bad experience. Because you could be missing out where somebody has the key that you need, and you're harvesting some bad, poor, ill will feelings.
Yes, I definitely agree. And what I want people to understand about collaboration as well, because I'm a big believer in it, is that make sure that it's mutual as well. Make sure it's reciprocal, when you're going in to do collaborations, right? And then make sure we're doing our research and make sure the person that you're collaborating with, that they believe in doing that, and that everybody's on one accord of everybody's winning, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be in a collaboration where it's one-sided. So that's what I would give to all the listeners. But definitely do it because it's necessary for us to get to where we got to go. Because if it's just you by yourself, you're not going to get there by yourself. It's not going to go but so far. So I love what you said, Tywauna. I love that. Love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to ask those questions, too. We got to make sure we're asking the right questions. I absolutely agree about making sure it's not one-sided. You need to ask questions to make sure, because all relationships, partnerships, collaborations may or may not be a good fit, but you have to ask those questions to make sure that it's, mutually beneficial for all parties.
And we've collabed on some more after-sensitive fear, so it's been great. So that's what I'm saying. It's a great thing to do when you got the right team.
Absolutely.
So I asked all of my guests this question, Coach T. How did you create your seat at the table?
That's a good question. Very good question, actually, Ashley. So persistence and dedication. So for me, it doesn't matter if it hasn't been done before, or if it seemed impossible. I'll continue to knock down doors. There's a lot of times I've been the first and the only. Most of the management leadership tables I sit at, I'm the only African American woman in the room. That's nothing new, right? But sometimes the people at the table didn't even know that they needed you at the table until you got there. So here's the critical thing about that. I make sure I can bring something different. I combine all of my unique experiences to provide a fresh look at the problem or business or whatever it is. So, for example, I'm a scientist by background. What does that mean? I like data. I like order. I like details. I like organization. And when I'm at the table with scientists, a lot of times we all think alike. We're very strategic and technical. So as I embarked on the entrepreneurial side, there's a lot of gray. It's a lot of unknown. It's a lot of thinking of things that doesn't already exist. So when I'm at the technical table, I can speak about things outside of the realm of technical. I can bring value and a fresh perspective. Nothing moves forward if everybody thinks the same. So I would say, what's unique about you that you can bring to that table? A lot of times you got people at the table, they don't even know they need you yet. So you have to make sure when you get to that table that you are bringing something that they don't even know what they have or know that they need it.
Absolutely. So just make sure you're valuable at all times, that you bring in something of value. I agree. So what is one key leadership lesson, Coach T, that you've learned along the way? I'm sure you've learned many. So what is one key leadership lesson you've learned?
That is absolutely right. I have learned many and am still learning. I am learning every day. You have some great questions here. So you do. So here's one thing. Here's what I would say. I would say don't be afraid to invest in yourself. That's a key lesson I've learned. So I can remember working in a lab, and there was a leadership training program that I wanted to participate in. I knew I needed to be in the program. It was the right time. I just knew it was for me. And so I went to my employer. I'm like, I want to participate in this program. It's going to make me a better leader. The organization is going to benefit, and I had all my points, right? Yeah, the organization was like, yeah, we're not paying for that. We should not pay for that. That is not in the budget. If you want to do that, we will support you being off from work. However, you have to cover the cost of the program. Cost of the program was $2,500. Now, of course, I was upset. I thought to myself, now, how dare they not pay for this program? It'll benefit the company. So that's what I'm thinking. So after they, told me that, that you can participate, but you have to invest, and I thought they must be crazy. Like, this company is crazy. They have lost their mind. You want me to pay to invest in me? And after thinking about that, even saying it out loud again today, it sounds utterly crazy that I would, question investing in myself because the company would not invest in me. So how can I expect somebody to invest in me to be a better me if I'm unwilling to personally invest in myself? So studies show that people don't typically invest in more education or more training outside of a formal degree or certification or whatever for their jobs. So, long story short, after that mindset of hearing how crazy that sounded, I went ahead and paid for the program, and it was one of the best programs of my life, but it changed my mindset. So, I understand you got to pay to play, right? I understand that you have to invest. I understand having a seat at the table comes at a cost. So, that was a key leadership and life lessons that I learned that, that wasn't my mindset at the time. So I know a lot of times people, and I come across different opportunities, and, sometimes there's an investment that are involved, and people are just like awestruck. But when you see people get on some of these stages, believe me, there was a cost to be paid. They invested to be there. So that would be the one thing that I would say for people is change your mindset about investing in many of ways.
Absolutely, because you got to pay for access. You have to pay for access, and that's so important that we are investing in ourselves in order for us to get there. So let's talk about your show, your new show. Congratulations on becoming a station owner and your new show, Leadership Tidbits. So talk about your show. Could you please tell listeners how they can be a guest and how they can support and listen to your show?
Yes. So I am so excited about the radio station and the show. I mean, it's been a blessing. So my husband and I launched our radio station. So we co-own Direct Impact Broadcasting radio station, which we launched in March of this year. So it has been very busy, very hectic, but it's been a blessing to have that platform, to be able to give, leaders and entrepreneurs, authors, speakers, coaches, and unsung heroes the opportunity to uplift and inspire their followers and communities through purposeful programming. So that is our aim with the radio station. My program, Leadership Tidbits with Coach T. Wilson, happens to be the first show on our station. And how that came about is I wanted to expose the listeners, our listening audience, to various leaders. Leaders come in all different packages, all different backgrounds, all different experiences. And so as I work with young people, I always ask in my trainings, I start off my training with who considers themselves a leader. And when I say that, I may get 50% that'll stand up and say, yeah, that's me. And so what it taught me is that they are not comfortable with that word leader. They don't acclimate to that. And so this was one of the reasons for creating that platform, to let them know leaders are cool, right? Leaders are cool. They are out here moving and shaking. I know we hear a lot of times like, I'm a boss. Well, leaders make boss moves. So in order to have what you want, you need to be a leader out here. And so that's why, I created this show, and my husband supported, and he was, for the radio station. So always looking for guests who are leaders or trailblazers in their own respective right that want to be on the show. We air Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've had all kind of guests on the show so far, educators, had a U.S. senator on there. We had a medical lab scientist on there. I mean, we have all different kind of people sharing tidbits of wisdom. But if people are interested in being a guest on the show or having their own radio station or show on our station, or having a show on ours, because we have our first station and show that's premiering tomorrow, Envision Broadcasting, owned and operated by Jerisha Moore. And the first show on that station is Envision Broadcasting, with the first show being tomorrow. So it is on the move. If you want to do some low-cost advertising on our station, you can send me an email at DIBroadcasting, all one word, at Trendy Elite, TrendyElitellc.com.
Amazing. And the great thing is they're affiliate. They're under our network as well. So it's always great to continue to grow, and we're happy that Coach T is a part of it. That's for y'all.
I am happy to be a part of it. Like I said, I can't thank you enough. I always acknowledge you as my media mentor, because I appreciate you sharing your expertise and everything with me on this new endeavor. Again, scientists, technical. This was not black and white. So
Yes, but she is amazing. Coach T is pretty awesome, okay? You a listener, she is awesome. So definitely follow her. Get on her show. Make sure you meet the requirements because she definitely does research, okay? So definitely listen. It's every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's an amazing show. She's an amazing person. To definitely follow her and purchase her services because she is definitely consistent and she's not just talking. She actually does the work. So, Coach T, tell us, what can we expect from you the rest of 2019? We know you overexceeded quarter one. You're in quarter two right now. So whatever you would like to share, hey, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I have a few things, just a few things that I am working on. So, again, continuing to build out our leadership training and coaching business. So here in May, I will have an announcement probably next week, starting our 8-week empowerment tribe, so our Trendy Elite Empowerment Tribe, which will be an 8-week program that consists of weekly power hour sessions. Again, sometimes people just need to know how to get started. And so what these sessions will be, they will be around personal growth, leadership, communication, the top 3 things that people need to be great leaders, be great business people. But it'll be hour sessions where it'll be a brief training followed by question and answer. So that's access to me, access to pick my brain. So very excited about that because it's a live teaching. So that's coming up, the Trendy Elite Empowerment Tribe. Also still doing book signing. So Dear Fear 2 is still hot. If you need your signed copy, you can purchase that on www.coachtwilson.com. So it is still changing lives. If you haven't had it or hadn't heard about it, it's 18 powerful lessons of living your best life on the other side of fear. So I wrote a chapter. My chapter is called Dear Fear, You Can't Have My Legacy, meaning that it doesn't matter how you start, but how you finish. You have the power to change the narrative. So still on tour with that. I'm launching a new book, collaboration project in June that deals with girlfriend relationships and the importance of those in your life. So you have to stay tuned for all of the exciting details around that particular project. And then I have one other collaboration that I'm doing, which is so exciting because, when it comes to my family, my faith, when it comes to, my sorority, and then my HBCU, those are things that have been critical foundations in my life. So I'm happy to serve as the lead author for collaboration. It's called the HBCU Experience, Kentucky State University Alumni Edition. Hey, Thoroughbred. So still looking for fellow alum to serve as co-authors. There's also sponsorship opportunities and business listening. So a way that you can get your business listed in this publication. So I want to thank Dr. Sharon Porter and her company, Perfect Time Publishing, SHP, for taking the project on and finding value in giving back to our HBCUs. Portion of the project donations will be made to, in this case, Kentucky State University or the Alumni Association. So, that's a pretty amazing project, pretty big deal. So I'm just excited about those things that, I'm passionate about. Opportunities are coming, things are coming to fruition, and really being able to collaborate and bring others on this journey with me. So those are just a few things that I'm working on.
Amazing. And to the Girlfriend Project, I'm the visionary author of that one. Coach T is in that one. Special thanks to my partner. We partner with Girlfriend Collective, which is Dr. Marquita Blades. So that one's coming out in June, and Coach T is a part of the sorority edition. So we're definitely excited about that as well. So it should be great. So, Coach T, would you please tell us how they can follow and contact you?
Yes. So if you were on any of the social media, if you were on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but not as active. You can reach me at Coach T. Wilson. You can find me using that name on all three of those platforms. If you are on LinkedIn, Tywauna Wilson. You can also go to my website, www.coachtwilson.com, or you can visit my business page, www.trendylelitellc.com. If you go to the Coach T. Wilson website, there will be tabs so that you can schedule an appointment with me. You could go to Direct Impact Broadcasting Radio Station. You can go to the Trendy Elite website. You could buy your copy of Dear Fear. So, that's a good place. You can also send me an email at Tywauna, TYWAUNA, at Trendy Elite, LLC, all one word, TRENDYELITELLC.com. And drop me a note. Connect with me. If you want to hear more about what I'm doing or any of these projects that I mentioned, that's a good way to catch up with me.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure, Coach T, to have you on the show. I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule to come to the table tonight. And I look forward to bringing you back.
Thank you. Thank you again so much, Ashley, for having me on your show, for allowing me to have my seat at your table, for utilizing your platform. Just to share a little bit about me and my journey and hopefully add a few nuggets of wisdom to your listening audience. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins-Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore. And I also would like to give a special thanks to two of our interns from Tennessee State University, Sarah and Kendall, who is on tonight with us as well. So you all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.